pleasure now to introduce Dr. Roy Richmond, who's been with us since Friday night. And we're going to do something a little different so you don't get shook up, so I just let you know what's going to happen. He's going to try to stay within the realm of 45 minutes. And we don't know if he can do it.
Needless to say, a very excited man. I talked to my wife last night, and she sends your greetings. Her name's Donna. And I put a post on her Facebook how much I missed her. And I said, you've got to come with me next time, because if you don't, I don't get to come. I've told several people I can't come back without my wife. So I miss my wife. She's my better half, but we're really not a half, we're one. And we know that in the truest sense of the word. And I was watching the news this morning, and somebody said that, I don't know what they were talking about, I just heard him saying 6 is powerful, and I heard 1 is more powerful than 2. And we've been talking about not 2, but 1. And really, when you know that you're 1, the Lord our God is 1, and you know you're 1, that's more powerful than 2. And what did Jesus pray in his high priestly prayer? He said, Father, I pray that you make them 1 as you and I are 1. And guess what? Jesus got his prayer answered. Amen. So we are 1. We just don't know it. And I think we know it, right? We know who we are. And so it's been a very exciting week. It seems like to me it's been a whole week. I've pretty much lost track of time. My wife listened to one of my sermons. She said, my God, Roy, you went 1 hour and 45 minutes. And I had no clue. Nobody got mad, I don't think. But I always think when we come to church, one of the greatest things we can do for our pastors and our praise and worship group, and I don't know where Tammy went, but I thank her for, Patty, sorry, is she in here? Not right now. Oh, right there you are, I'm sorry. How could I miss you? But I thank you for really ministering to us yesterday and today, and of course your team up here. But I say to you, if you don't know it, and I'm sure you do, but you are a songstress, and you said yesterday that you're praying that the Lord would give you new songs, and I just speak to you that that's happening, and it's going to happen more, and you're going to start hearing songs in your sleep, and you're going to wake up and write them. You need to start keeping a notepad by your bed, because sometimes the Lord speaks to us and we forget, but you're going to start hearing tunes in your head and go with it. When you're driving down the street, you're going to start hearing tunes in your head, and you're going to hear words from your pastor and say, that will make a great song. And I just speak that over you, and just receive it. Because I could sit under your singing all the time. It's beautiful. You make me rest when I listen to you. Is that all right to say that? You can cry, it's okay. I got tears in my eyes. But you do. The moment I heard you up there, I said, wow, that's a woman that has a ministry of rest and peace in her. So don't worry, let him do it, though. I'm in a new chapter in my life, and the first thing I heard, I don't know what that chapter is going to be, and I'm not going to write it. I'm going to let the Lord write it. So I bless you. Pastor Mike, I bless you for allowing us to use your beautiful facilities here. I think it's awesome. Your congregation's wonderful, and of course Charlene and everybody that's had us. Thank you so much. This is what I will live for, is to go out and preach and minister the gospel of Jesus Christ to people who are hungry. Yes. And sometimes I get a little scared when I go places, because I know I'm kind of bold, and I say things, and I'm kind of like a get real with Phil type guy, that Dr. Phil. But the Lord I'm so tired of playing games. Yes. I'm so tired of having to be careful what you say to people, because you're afraid you're going to offend them. The Apostle Paul wasn't that way. Jesus wasn't that way. But we respect people and we honor people. But I met a lady out in the parking lot when I was taking a picture of the flyer. Where are you at? Right there. And she was so sweet, but I just asked her, I said, are you ready to hear things that you may not know? And she said, I am so ready. And I believe people really are there. Some people may not know they're there, but I believe people are ready, because the very Spirit in the bride, we used to say the Spirit and the bride, but really the Spirit in the bride is saying, come. My song leader for many years wrote a song called Come to My Table. And that's what the Spirit in the bride is saying, come to my table, come and feed. So I'm going to set my watch right up here so I can kind of watch it. It's 5 minutes till, so I need to quit about 11:45. Is that all right? I'll do my best to do that. And then I encourage you, if you can, stay, because Dr. Kay is going to come up and wrap all this up. She's going to sew all the things together and correct me if she needs to. I would have no problem with that, but she's not. But you're going to really like it if you haven't heard Dr. Kay. She's fabulous. She is anointed minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So what I want to do today, and for those of you who are new to hearing me and Kay, we've been dealing with a lot of questions since Friday. The church has a lot of questions. Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
We many times we said, if this is so, why? If this is so, why? And is this real? You know, a fellowship in South Carolina sent me 32 questions. They didn't want me to teach. Dr. Kay and I were coming. We were going to teach out living out of our spiritual resources, and the pastor said, no, you let Kay teach that. We need you to answer some questions. And Kay answers questions when she ministers all the time, if you listen. But they sent me 32 questions, and they were questions that I've heard people ask all my life. And I've asked all my life. You know, what about angels? What about heaven? What about hell? What about devils? What about demons? All those questions. And the conversation has been about those way too long because most people either won't answer them or are not able to answer them. And so when I read them, I said, Father, why do people keep asking this? Because I didn't want to do that. I wanted to teach, you know, more higher understanding. But this is a higher understanding when you get your questions answered. But the Lord told me when somebody will answer them. So I said, okay, I will, with your help. So I spent several weeks, and the Lord just opened some things up to me, and He had made me a scribe already to able to look in the Word and see what doesn't fit there and what does, and translate it, explain it, and make it palatable like Ezra, where you can read the Word and make the sense of it. When you read the Word and make the sense of it, and I'm not talking about the sense realm, and make it understandable, that causes people to stand up as one man, not two, but one. The Bible says, greater is He that's within you than he that's within the world. Well, what do most people think that he that is in the world is? A devil, right? But really it's talking about greater is the God within you, the mind of Christ within you, than the part of you, the he of you that's in the sense realm. That's really what it's talking about. Greater is the real he in you than that false he in you that's from your brain with the wrong information, because your sense realm is in the world. It's in the cosmos system, the world, like I explained yesterday. Does that make sense to you? You know, so you're very weak if all your awareness is in the world. You're very weak and you're powerless if it's all about the political system, the medical system, the financial system, the religious system, and the social system. You're weak. But if you're leaning to the Spirit, man, that makes you powerful. That brings wisdom and knowledge to you, and you can function and you can listen to the voice of the Spirit all the time. My first associate pastor, she gave me this gold tree, and I love this gold tree, because my ministry is called Tree of Life. Well, this morning when I was packing, getting ready to leave, I remembered, well, where's my gold tree? And I thought it was on my suit, couldn't find it. I didn't go look at my suitcase. I just thought, well, it must be in my suitcase somewhere. I immediately heard you threw it away in the trash can. Now, what was that? That was my mind of Christ. I just walked right over there, moved some trash, there it was. I know that's a simple thing, but we can hear the voice of the Spirit all the time. It can lead us and it can guide us, and mainly into the things of Jesus, but also it gives us direction in the earth today. So it's important for us to do that and understand that. I was taught by Brother Garner many years ago, and I still stick with it. Everything that I teach, everything that Kay teaches is based on the redemptive work of Jesus Christ. Everything must go back to that. I've been teaching this off and on for many years. Brother Garner called it 6 Steps to the Throne. I call it the Revelation of Redemption. And we at my fellowship are dealing with a shorter version of it, and I'm calling it the never-ending story. And I encourage you not just to hear me, but to listen to it on my webpage. I've got 10 sessions on it right now, and it's treeoflifeok.com. It's real easy, treeoflife and that okfoklahoma.com. And listen to it, because it's a detailed teaching on crucified, died, buried, quickened, raised, and seated, which most people have never heard of that ever. But it's all twined into Paul's writings. And so the crucified, died, buried is what we call the death side of the cross. It's the side of the cross, or the Old Testament calls it the operation of God, but it's the side of the redemptive work of Jesus Christ that did away with the estate or the condition of the first man Adam that no longer exists. The only reason we talk about it The only reason the Apostle Paul talked about him was to explain to the people back then what happened to the condition of man before the cross. And so when they translated all of it, they translated you died, we died, and all that. You know, we still say that sometimes. But it's talking about the people that were before the cross. Those people were no longer man, as Kay said, they became human. And you get the word human from when you hewn a tree down. And we are trees of righteousness. And Adam hewed them down by cutting himself off from his life source, which was God, right? Which was Father God. And from then on, I explained that he had a divine nature activity. He had the very nature of God in him, but because he cut himself off from God, his Father, his Creator, then that nature became degenerate. And then from that on, he lived out a degenerate nature activity. And it seems like we live out of that today, and in a sense we do, because the perception is that we're still just humans. We're still just sinners saved by grace. And if you believe that, and you've been taught that most of your life, then you literally allow all this stuff to function in you. And Sister Kay told you that that's illegal because Jesus bore every bit of it.
Sure did.
And if you had any clue what he went through, I'm not going to go through it all today, but if you had any clue what he went through, and forget the cross. Lots of people died on the cross and never let out a sound. But what he went through when he opened himself up and he emptied himself out of the Godhead and he received in himself every drop of that tainted blood that was in man, because that's where sickness and disease flows through the body. Every drop of that degenerate nature activity, he drew that in himself in a moment of time. That had to be unbelievably horrible. We have cried when we listened to what our soldiers went through in Vietnam. And when Japan abused our soldiers, something horrible. We cried when we hear about how people have been abused in homes and been kidnapped. But think what Jesus went through. It was horrible. And then yet here we are, and he said, it's finished. It's done. What did you say to me a minute ago? How it's signed, sealed, and delivered? It's all done. And he did it. And yet we're still, here we are, in the realm of time over 2014, 15 years from when he did it already. And we're still, in our estimation, we're still sick in our estimation, and we're still dying needlessly. And we're not. We're whole. We're redeemed. Our body's completely redeemed. And like Kay said, we need the realization of it, that it's whatever's